Hello, my name is Alan and I'm an entrepreneur, and this is my solo podcast where I dig a little bit deeper into topics that might be interesting for entrepreneurs or people who want to become entrepreneurs. Today, we are talking about one very controversial thing that I use within my team. It's the no questions rules. In my company, people are not allowed to ask questions. This sounds very, very harsh, and it's something that's quite controversial because if you would say in any meeting, hey, there is no questions allowed, people would stop immediately. Especially from school, we know every question is a good question and you can ask whatever you want. And then suddenly there's this guy saying you, hey, there are no questions anymore. We had a couple of discussions also internally with the team, but it sounds way harsher than it is. Short break from our podcast sponsor, Relay. I've been using Relay recently for my automatic Bitcoin savings plan. I invest 50 francs a week into Bitcoin via Relay. Why? Because Relay is the easiest way to buy Bitcoin here in Switzerland. You can buy it via bank transfer, credit card, or Apple Pay. And Relay is Bitcoin only, so no other coins. I got rid of all my other coins. I have Bitcoin only. And the most important thing is it's self-custody. You know, not your keys, not your coin. With Relay, you have your keys, so therefore these are your coins. Use the code Alan to get 10% discount on your fees. Discount code Alan, A-L-A-N. You will find the link in the description. And what's very, very important, be very, very careful with your investments. It's your hard-earned money. So think about where you're going to invest, what you're going to invest, and how much you're going to invest. This is not financial advice, so be really careful. And now let's go back to the episode. Often, when you are an entrepreneur, people come to you with questions. They want to give you their problem. They don't do that actively or consciously. They're just giving you the problem. They're like, hey, Alan, how can I do that? Or how can we solve that? Often as an entrepreneur, you don't know how to solve it. So you might have an idea, but this is just a guess. This rule, the no questions rule, gives you a framework how to structure meetings with your employees to make them more productive. There are three things to it. Identify the problem, come up with 2 to 3 potential solutions. And the third is, why would you choose which solution? In any meeting, you start with identifying the problem. Often meetings are, people come into a meeting and they're like, hey, Alan, I don't know what to do. Shall we upload the podcast? It's probably not yet finished until XYZ. Instead of asking the question, it is identifying the problem clearly. As an employee, saying, okay, this is the problem. We cannot finish the podcast until next week, or we couldn't ship the products yet. So state the problem very clear instead of just asking a question, hey, what shall we do? Second thing is, what are the 2 or 3 potential solutions? And one solution is always do nothing. People often forget do nothing is also a potential solution. Another one would be, for example, we could postpone it, move it back 2 weeks, or maybe just upload a part of it or do a partial shipment or whatever it is. The advantage of this no question rule is that people need to think about potential solutions first. And then the last part is, which solution would you prefer? I would prefer this solution because of XYZ. So now in a meeting, we're talking about solutions and we're not talking about problems anymore. So we are about 2 to 3 steps further. And this makes it a much more productive meeting because if we just talk about the problem or we don't identify the problem, we are wasting time. But with this framework, no questions. What's the problem? What are potential solutions? Which solution do you prefer? Why? Gives us the framework that we are just cutting to the important things and we can discuss about solutions. Now, obviously, this is something for productive meetings. Sometimes it's also good to have unproductive meetings, like coffee meetings, where we're just talking about random things about food or travel or whatever it is also very valuable in a company. But sometimes you just need to have really productive meetings, and the no question rule helps to find the best solution in the best time. And the thing is, as an entrepreneur, that's a way to push back, give the responsibility back to the employee, and the employee gains confidence by finding right solutions. So in 99.9% of the cases, I just say, hey, this makes a lot of sense. This is your solution. Let's take that solution. This builds confidence within the employee that they make proper decisions. They can choose for themselves. No questions rule is a rule that not only helps the employee, but it also helps the entrepreneur. It's a win-win situation, even though it sounds a little bit harsh in the beginning.